This is just one of those events, and I think one of the things that don't get mentioned, but it's quite important for these regular events, is just that people get a chance to come together and socialise, which is why we wanted to start it now, because I think we're a culmination of my activities in Colne and some in Briarfield as well. Yeah, and like I said, they're about 10-year-old. Right, so one of the main projects that I'm involved with in this area we call the Waterside Project, which a lot of you are familiar with, and it involved looking at or starting with local history in an area of Colne called Waterside. The history was all to get people who live in that vicinity to be aware of the history of that place. Having been brought up down there, I was well aware of what used to be there from family members and friends and neighbours who used to talk about this village, what used to be there in the 30s, right up to the 60s it took them. So it took them about 30 years to demolish the whole lot. And so this project was a collaboration between myself and Colne Library, who donated lots of photographs of the lost village and the community that were in there.
How about steel?
Yeah. They're a bit dusty because, like I say, I've just got them out of my loft this morning. I haven't had time now. In fact, that's a famous one that you've got there. On a lot of there's an old book somewhere about old Pendle, and that's on the front. And so there's the pub. Since then. If you go back and have a look, you'll see a bit at the back of the actions. Yeah, it were early days. This was one of the first projects I ever did, and so it was just a case of being there and talking to people. And so I had copies of the originals again, but obviously not in the milk bottles. And what it did, it started this stuff, which is related. There's some of the stuff in there is not just related to Waterside, it's related to the surrounding area as well. But all the juicy bits, or at least all the bits that are connected directly to the Waterside village, are in this newspaper, which is, if you watch, or practice-led research, or research-led practice, or whatever it is, it's like a spiral, which is still you can't help but get images in your head anyway when you do research about stuff, especially when it's to do with stories and things. So from that research project itself, it's spun off tons and tons of other ideas for different projects. Some of them happened, some never happened because they didn't have time. This big pile of offcuts. And I've always wanted to do something more with this resin thing because it just didn't seem finished off. The school didn't want it, they had nowhere to put it. So we just showed it in the school for the kids to look at, and then we wanted rid of it. So I thought, well, I need to turn it into something what I'd like, and so this is why I turned it into this crate made from recycled wood from Bradley, which kind of makes a bit of sense really, from these old houses which got knocked down, and turned it into what I think is really a really nice object.